Ever wonder what the hell is happening with your hormones? I'm Kate Nagai, certified women's hormone health practitioner and cycle syncing strategist, and this is What the Hormones, where we decode PMS, perimenopause, burnout, and the chaos of midlife with real talk and real strategies. Whether you're here for hormone insights, expert conversations, or just need to know you're not alone in this, know that you are in the right place. So let's cut through that confusion and jump into this week's episode. If you're listening to this episode and you have kids, I know you're probably exactly where I am right now of doing the countdown until school begins again. For a lot of us moms out there, we are sitting at about 2 weeks out. 2 weeks. And I don't know about you, but when I hit that 2-week mark every August, something in me shifts. It's not exactly quite relief yet. It's not we made it. It's more like the final stretch. The part of summer where everyone is tired, the routines are gone, the kids have had enough sugar and enough freedom, and honestly, so have I. And we're all just trying to get to the finish line in one piece. So today I want to talk about the 2-week stretch because I think there's something really important happening in it, hormonally, energetically, and emotionally. And I think if we don't name it, you miss the chance to do something about it. So let's name it. Let's actually say out loud what the last 2 months have looked like. Summer, for most of us, is an all resources on deck operation. And by all resources, I mean you, your time, your energy, your mental bandwidth. You've been the one making sure that everyone's fed on some kind of schedule, even though there is no schedule. You've planned camps. You've replanned them when one fell through. You've juggled childcare gaps with your actual job, which somehow still expects you to be present and competent during a Tuesday afternoon when your kids' camp ended at noon and pickup is a whole production. You've done the vacation, which, let's be honest, I genuinely do. I love our family vacations, but planning a vacation is like a second job. And then there's the sugar highs, the emotional crashes, the meltdowns that happen because everyone's tired and nobody's on a routine. You have been doing scheduling acrobatics for almost 2 months straight. And here's the thing I want you to hear. This is invisible labor. Nobody sees the mental load of summer. They see the fun, the pool days, the ice cream, the trips to the lake, and that part is real, which is the part that's wonderful. But underneath it, you were the architect of it all. And architects don't get a day off just because the building looks nice. So if you're sitting here right now, 2 weeks out, feeling like you're running on fumes, I want you to know that you've done a great job and you're almost there. Now, to make this a little bit real, I want to tell you a little bit about my own pattern because I think a lot of you are nodding right now. Every July, I am so excited. I love summer. I love the warm weather, especially here in Canada, where we only really get 8 good weeks of weather. And I am somebody who refuses to waste a single one of those days. July Kate has a plan. July Kate is doing all the things. And then mid-August hits, and I start counting down the days until school's back and routines are in place. Not because I don't love summer, I do. I love the chaos. I love the family time. I genuinely do not want to rush this season for my kids' lives. But here's what I notice every single year. In all the excitement, in all of the go, 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 I begin to disappear. My downtime disappears. My self-care disappears. The little rhythms that keep me hormonally well for the other 10 months of the year, they're gone. They're absorbed into the summer machine. And I used to just push through that. I tell myself, it's fine. It's only 2 months. I'll get back to my routines in September. But what I've learned, both in my own body and in the women that I work with, is that 2 months of the unrelenting invisible load doesn't disappear when school starts. It just accumulates, and it shows up later as exhaustion, as irritability, as a nervous system that is just wired but tired. So a few years ago, I started doing something differently. And that's what I want to share with you today, my little secret. So let's think about the end of summer as this transition into autumn, as a mirror. It mirrors two things happening in our body on two completely different timescales. The first is your menstrual cycle. Autumn is the energetic cousin of your luteal phase, that second half of your cycle after ovulation before your period. In the luteal phase, your hormones are doing something really specific. They're asking you to turn inwards, to stop saying yes to everything, to use discernment, to set some boundaries. Progesterone rises, and a lot of the tolerance you had in the follicular phase when estrogen basically handled all the things and handed you those rose-colored glasses, that tolerance, it starts to drop. You start seeing things clearly. You start needing more rest, more boundaries, more of the no. That's not a flaw in your hormones. That's your hormones doing exactly what they've been designed to do. The second mirror is bigger. It's the mirror of perimenopause on a broader arc of life. Just like autumn signals a turn inwards after the expansiveness of summer, perimenopause is your body's signal that it's time to stop operating at a pace that you've been operating at in your 20s and in your 30s. It's not a decline, it's a recalibration. And here's the thorough line in both of these. Tapping the brakes, slowing down, putting yourself first, using discernment, saying no, these aren't indulgent. They are literally in the best interest of your hormonal health, your physical health, and your mental health. So when I tell you that hitting this 2 weeks before school mark is a moment to start thinking about how you're going to slow down and plan something for yourself, is not just saying that because it sounds nice. I'm saying it because your body right now, in this exact window, is primed to actually start to think about receiving the rest. You're about to enter into a season and a cyclical moment that's asking for it. The problem is, most of us don't listen. We push through the last 2 weeks the same way that we pushed through the first 8. And then September hits and we're completely depleted and we fall into the new school routine without taking a moment to nourish ourselves, to recalibrate for ourselves. So here's what I want you to do. This is my little piece of wisdom that I'm dropping in today so that you can start to ponder and start to plan and think about how you're going to put this into practice. I want you to book a full day off in that first week of back to school, in the early September. Not a maybe I'll get to it kind of day, an actual day in your calendar, blocked off, non-negotiable. This is your kids are back at school celebration. But the celebration isn't a party. It is a rest date, a recalibration date. Maybe that looks like a spa day for you, the whole production, a robe and all of the goodness. Maybe it's just a pajama day with your phone off and a book that you've wanted to read since May in your hand. Maybe it's a long walk with a warm coffee in your hand, somewhere quiet, and maybe it's going for lunch and sitting down and being able to taste your food because you're eating in silence by yourself without negotiating anyone else's chicken nugget scandal that's happening at the table. Whatever fills you up specifically, that becomes part of that rest day for you. And now here's the part I really want you to hear, because this is the part that actually makes it or breaks it. Are you ready? Don't tell anyone. I'm serious. Don't tell your kids that you're taking the day off. Don't tell your partner. Don't tell your parents. Because you already know this if you've ever tried to take a day off. The second people know that you're free, your day off stops being your day off. It becomes a day everyone else gets to use. Oh, you're off? Can you just pop by and grab this one thing from the house? Hey, since you're not working, could you take dad to his appointment? Hey, mom, can you swing by this school? I forgot this thing. Suddenly, your sacred day is a logistics day, just with a different feel to it. So this is the one time I'm going to actively encourage you to keep your day off as a secret. Block it in your calendar with something boring. Write appointment, write admin day, write whatever you want so that you have the full day blocked off undisturbed. Show up at your drop-off looking completely normal and then disappear into whatever version of rest your nervous system has been begging for since probably even before June. Because let's be honest, planning for the summer, it generally starts in like April and May. And just know that this isn't selfish. This is maintenance. You cannot run an entire household's invisible load for 2 months and then walk straight into a new school year, into a new season with zero recovery and expect to feel like yourself. Something will give. Usually it's your patience, it's your sleep, it's your hormones, and sometimes it's all three of them at once. So, here's what I want you to take away from this beyond just booking one day. This 2-week window right now, starting today, it is a hormonal cue. It is your body's invitation to start practicing something a lot of us have never learned. That rest isn't something you earn after you've done everything else. It's something you build in on purpose, especially right before a transition. Because September isn't actually the finish line. It's a new season with its own demands, its own routines, new schedules, new everything. And if you've walked into that season already depleted from summer, you're not starting fresh. You're starting in a deficit. One day isn't going to fix 2 months of carrying that invisible labor. I know that. But one day, taken intentionally, kept sacred, protected from everyone else's requests, that's a signal to your nervous system that the emergency is over, that you're allowed to stop bracing. And that signal matters more than most people realize. So that's my challenge for you this episode. Before these 2 weeks are up, get that day in your calendar. Start dreaming about what it's going to look like. Start planning. Book whatever you need to book so that way you can walk into that day being completely held and cared for. And most importantly, tell no one. And let it be exactly what you need it to be. Let it nourish you from the inside out. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you loved this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss one. And hey, share it with your bestie who may also be wondering what the hell is going on with her hormones. Until next time, remember, you deserve to feel good in your body, and together, we will figure it out.